As the automotive industry pushes toward an electric future, the startling pattern is arising among numerous electric vehicle drivers, a craving to get back to conventional gas-powered vehicles. EVs are so amazing that they swear you'll never go back after having one. They claim they are the future. But now we are seeing that almost half of EV buyers in the United States want to switch back to a regular internal combustion engine. Approximately a third of EV buyers worldwide wish to see that transition end by 2035. EVs are pricey, heavy, impractical, boring, inconvenient, and have a terrible return on investment. Oh, and they supposedly spy on you too. EVs are a burden. They're self-centered, demanding, and difficult, expecting everything from you like you're a spoiled child. Their ridiculous charging requirements, the routes you can take to avoid hills, the temperature, the wind, and other factors that regular car drivers don't even have to consider. And guess what? People want to get out of this obnoxious child of a car after driving it for any amount of time, and I'd say the right to do so. The media is perplexed and confused. People are so incredibly ungrateful, and they aren't buying EVs as their stupid governments are forcing them to. According to the news, over 40% of EV buyers want to switch back to combustion engine vehicles. The conclusion of a global consumer survey, which among other things found that charging concerns are impeding the transition to EVs, is that more than a quarter of EV owners worldwide are likely to return to a combustion engine vehicle for their next purchase. More than 4 out of 10 owners of EVs in the US are likely to buy a combustion engine car for their next purchase. Globally, 29% of EV owners stated they plan to go backward, a sentiment that reached 46% in the US. The best part of the whole story is that, according to consumers around the world, their top concern is the lack of adequate public charging infrastructure. They also mention concerns about the high cost of ownership and the negative effects of long-distance driving. This is something I didn't expect to hear from Philip Koff, the leader of the consulting firm Center for Future Mobility, telling Automotive News. I thought that once an EV buyer, always an EV buyer, but nope, not at all, unless you're one of the fortunate few who can charge your EV off-street and have a second gasoline or diesel car for when things get rough. EVs are terrible to live with, and these sentiments may go hand in hand with the slow rollout of a charging network. Currently, only 8 stations are operational since the National Electric, according to EV Option. Data through the end of May among existing stations, both public and private stations, can be difficult to find. Gas station options are displayed on road signage near interstate exits, but EV chargers remain far from public view. Part of availability is visibility, he said. You can't keep chargers hidden behind a Walmart. The U.S. is not alone. 2 years ago, only 23 states had begun rolling out the financing from the $5 billion federal program. Only 9% of respondents worldwide said the expansion of public charging stations met their needs, but this is a problem that will only get worse because the next generation of EV buyers will depend much more on public charging than the current generation does, according to the report, and some of the other findings are equally startling. Of those surveyed worldwide, 21% said they would never want to convert to an EV, with 33% citing charging concerns. The range of in-market items has not expanded as swiftly as consumers' expectations linked to range. Specifically, consumers' minimum range expectations have grown to 21.4 miles today, unusually particular from 270 miles in 2022, and this has made charging problems worse. Although EVs have many advantages, a reasonable number of EV drivers say they would need to return to customary gas-powered vehicles. Range nervousness is a primary driver of it. Numerous EV proprietors remain stressed over the limited driving reach and the accessibility of charging stations, even despite significant improvements in battery technology. Due to the unfortunate framework, long street excursions or travel in provincial districts can become troublesome. A few drivers hunger for the extraordinary reach and fast re-energizing of customary gas-controlled vehicles. The commonality and solace associated with ICE vehicles likewise help to shape this disposition. Drivers have come to know the sound, feel, and conduct of regular motors for quite some time. Numerous vehicle devotees have solid dug-in tangible encounters, from the motorist tumult to the material criticism of stuff changes. The people who partake in the material components of driving might track down EVs, generally with a calmer and smoother ride, can find and less fascinating. Certain individuals find it challenging to copy this profound connection to the driving involvement of an electric vehicle, which energizes the need to get back to the known space of gas motors. This inclination additionally reflects issues of upkeep and repair. Despite the fact that EVs are normally commended for their fewer moving parts and negligible upkeep needs, they can cause specific troubles when issues do arise. Administration of EVs frequently requires specific abilities and devices which not all technicians are equipped for, and this can bring about extra costs and burden than somewhat basic and, for the most part, acknowledged upkeep of ICE vehicles. Drivers who battle to get reasonable consideration for their EVs could become disappointed and longing for more complex ones that keep up with conventional automobiles. While reserves, funglungle, and support help EVs' absolute expense of possession to be less expensive over the long haul, many models' forthright price tag is still fairly high. While endowments and motivators help to reduce this, the monetary snag to entry remains an area of strength for fare. Although EVs have many advantages for some buyers, exemplary gas-powered motors actually enjoy specific benefits that make them popular in a wide range of circles. ICE vehicles' speed and comfort of topping off are among its clearest benefits. Only a couple of moments are expected to fill a fuel tank, and the goal that the vehicles may quickly return out and about. On the other hand, even the quickest EV chargers can take discernibly longer, typically 20 to 30 minutes for an incomplete charge and for a few hours of a full charge. This distinction is particularly significant for long flights or in conditions when there's no time to waste. ICE vehicles support costs that can likewise be all the more plainly predictable and sensible. Despite the fact that EVs as a rule have less moving parts and less support prerequisites, they can require particular administrations and parts that probably won't be promptly accessible, thus perhaps bringing about additional costs and bother. Normally speaking, ICE vehicles have preferable driving reach over numerous electric vehicles. A few hundred miles of driving reach from a full tank of gas can be more than most EVs presently give on one charge, besides a higher energy thickness of diesel and gas than a present battery innovation, let alone distances between fuels conceivable without apparently adding vehicle weight. ICE vehicle resale esteem is more predictable than that of EVs. The quick speed of mechanical advancement in electric vehicles can quickly make prior models less engaging, subsequently influencing the resale esteem. For some shoppers, the market for regular vehicles likewise offers a level of commonality and security because of a deep-rooted organization of sellers, mechanics, and parts providers. ICE vehicles, by and large, run preferable in chilly over electric vehicles. The need for utilize electric warming frameworks further debases batteries at EVs since they frequently lose productivity and reach in low temperatures. On the other hand, diesel and gas motors are less affected by low temperatures with regards to mileage and execution and can make enough of intensity for the launch. Fuel and diesel are more effectively available than power in a crisis, says cataclysmic event or boundless blackout. Although through electric charging stations run on the network, corner stores can run with reinforcement generators. For certain drivers, ICE vehicles are more reasonable on account of their steadfastness in emergency. Well, none of this will surprise frequent viewers of this station in terms of sheer usefulness and convenience, as well as cost and return on investment. EVs are nowhere near as good as regular cars. Consequently, we are witnessing yet another clash between the ideal of government mandates for electric vehicles and the actual demand for the public, and if anything, the situation is only going to get worse over time. So, what are your views on the present situation of electric vehicles? Do share your views in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.